that warning. So, Mr. Kolodziej, please proceed.
Chairman Boxer, Ranking Member Inhofe, members of the committee. As I mentioned, I'm president of NGVAmerica. We're the National Trade Association for vehicles that are powered by natural gas and biomethane. Currently, I'm also president of the International Association of Natural Gas Vehicles, headquartered in New Zealand. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today to discuss how increased use of natural gas vehicles can improve our national goals of reducing greenhouse gases, reducing urban pollution, and reducing dependence on foreign oil. And while achieving all these goals, more NGVs would help create jobs here at home. NGVs are the fastest growing alternative to petroleum vehicles in the world. In 2003, there were only about 2.8 million NGVs in the world. Today, there are over 11.1 million NGVs, and the International Association of Natural Gas Vehicles forecasts that we'll have 65 million NGVs in the world by 2020. Most of the vehicles, NGVs, globally are small sedans, but for a number of reasons, including the sheer size of America, the strategy of the U.S. NGV industry has been to focus on high fuel use fleets. Trash trucks, transit buses, short-haul 18-wheelers, school buses, urban delivery vehicles of all types, shuttles, taxis. As a result, while we only have about 110,000 NGVs in the United States, we estimate that last year these vehicles used about 40 billion cubic feet of natural gas, which is the equivalent of 320 million gallons of gasoline that we did not have to import. But with supportive government policies, that number could reasonably grow to 1.25 trillion cubic feet of natural gas within 10 years, or the equivalent of 10 billion gallons. Now, some of this is going to be gasoline, but the majority is going to be diesel, which is important because diesel represents about 20% of the on-road petroleum use. While there are many options to displace gasoline in light-duty vehicles, there are very few options to displace diesel fuel in heavier vehicles, and of those options, natural gas can make the biggest impact the fastest. And these would have substantial environmental benefits. For example, the California Air Resources Board recently concluded that on a well-to-wheel basis, NGVs produce 22% less greenhouse gases than comparable diesel vehicles and 29% less than comparable gasoline vehicles. This is as good as or better than some renewable fuels. Importantly, these numbers can be further improved if the natural gas is blended with renewable natural gas or biomethane, which can be made from landfill gas or animal waste or sewage. That same CARB study showed that biomethane from waste is among the best greenhouse gas reduction strategies for transportation, reducing greenhouse gases by about 90%. NGVs also produce less criteria pollutants like nitrogen oxides. EPA's recent announcement that they are considering further tightening national ozone standards means that more cities and counties than ever are going to be looking for economic alternatives for ozone reductions, and that means more natural gas. And NGVs are economic. NGVs cost more, but they are less costly to operate. Therefore, more miles driven means faster payback. The price of oil and natural gas historically has traded in an 8 or 9 to 1 ratio. That's 8 or 9 to 1 between a barrel of oil and 1,000 cubic feet of natural gas. But because of America's huge natural gas resource base and technology breakthroughs like horizontal drilling and gas shale fracturing, that ratio is now 15 to 1. 15 to 1 barrel of oil, 10,000 cubic feet of natural gas, and the Energy Information Administration predicts that it's going to be 15 to 1 even in 2030. That means that NGVs are going to continue to be economically attractive to customers, especially fleet customers. As to federal policy, Congress could significantly accelerate the market penetration of NGVs through passage of S-1408, the NAT GAS Act. This bill, which has bipartisan support in both the Senate and the House, would extend and expand the existing federal financial incentives for the purchase and use of NGVs. Senator Inhofe, the industry also appreciates your leadership in the introduction of S-1809, a bill that would help streamline the EPA emission certification process for aftermarket conversion systems. If passed, this bill would result in the availability of more systems for converting gasoline vehicles to run on natural gas, and they'd be less expensive. Thank you for your attention. I'd be delighted to answer any questions.